Hello everybody, my name is Daulton Nelson and today I'd like to give my thoughts on a game I just beat. That game being F.E.A.R for the PC. F.E.A.R was developed by Monolith Productions and published by Vivendi Universal and Warner Brothers. It is a first-person shooter. For those of you who might be first-person shooter enthusiasts, you've most likely heard of Monolith Productions before. Monolith is known for making some pretty classic games in the genre, such as Blood, Condemned Criminal Origins, and The Operative No One Lives Forever. Personally, I haven't played any of their titles yet. Or, that was until recently when I bought the F.E.A.R Complete Pack on Steam when it went on sale. F.E.A.R as a franchise has always interested me, as the games seem to be landmark titles in the small, horrorcore FPS genre, as well as arguably being Monolith's most well-known games. So, where better to start than the first F.E.A.R game? As the name implies, F.E.A.R is a mashup between semi-tactical FPS elements and horror. Dark, claustrophobic industrial hallways with gloomy colors permeate F.E.A.R's settings. Monolith does a great job setting up a creepy atmosphere, full of tension, as you never know what could be on the other side of that dark corridor. The soundtrack also helps with this, as while there is some faster-paced action music for the firefights, there is also dark, drony tones that layer the apprehension on thick. One thing that really sells F.E.A.R's horror is the lighting. Combined with their ragdoll-like physics engine, the lights in the game are impressive. They'll sometimes flicker realistically, or sway wildly if force is applied. I'd say the lighting engine holds up very well. Speaking of the physics, F.E.A.R isn't one of those FPSs that will shove its physics in your face, but rather use it really subtly, like breaking boards or kicking things that are on the ground. That latter action also adds a lot to the atmosphere, as F.E.A.R's sound design is also immaculate. There were several times I would bump into something, or kick something on the ground that would make a sharp noise in the silence, causing me to jump. Not every scare F.E.A.R attempts works, but I do feel like the game does make up for it in its gunplay. As I said, F.E.A.R has an almost tactical feel to it, and some of that comes from the UI design, but a lot of that also comes from how the firefights play out. Your player character, the Point Man, is very vulnerable, taking a lot of damage from just a few shots. This means that taking cover and applying suppression tactics is key to surviving most skirmishes. The enemy AI in the game seems like it's flawlessly sentient, as soldiers will communicate to themselves if events happen like you attempting to flank their position, them losing men, or you hiding too long. The level design makes these battles even more engaging, as the arenas will be either littered with coverage you can use, or it will be wide open with only a few places to go. You have to be versatile in F.E.A.R. Holding up in one place is only going to be met with grenades. Luckily, Monolith throws some things your way to help make these tight situations a little easier to get out of. One is the first aid packs you can find strewn out in the levels. The Point Man has a numerical HP value that will go down when he is damaged. You can heal him up with 50 points from one of the 10 packs you can carry. It reminds me a bit of the Max Payne painkillers. Another helpful feature that reminds me a lot of Max Payne is the slow-mo state you can put yourself in to get some better precision. Like Payne, players have a little bar down at the bottom of their screen, showing how long the state will last. Time slows down exponentially, and you can aim better. Once the bar runs out, or you press the key again, time returns back to normal. While you're in this slowed state, you can really appreciate the physics and the particle effects a lot more. Things will fly everywhere when shot, enemies' bodies will fly indiscriminately, and bullet trails are clearly visible. It's honestly the closest I've seen a game get to the Matrix. Finally, there will be these ability boosters hidden in side paths that will either extend your slow-mo or your health. These give a real sense of progression, and especially the added health will make difficult parts of the game a lot easier. Overall, I thought the gunplay in F.E.A.R was solid, which is more than what I can say about some other aspects of the game. For example, for as great as the shooting segments are, The shooting itself feels like it needs a bit more weight to it. Some of the stronger weapons just feel like they need more punch. I also thought the graphical fidelity of the game could look a bit dated at times, especially with human characters which don't look too well. Speaking of the characters, the story of the game can have its issues, like some of the side characters feeling out of place, like Alice Wade or Norton Mapes. The narrative third act of the game feels a bit clumsy, and the revelation at the end isn't something I necessarily agree with. Without spoiling anything, I think things would be better if things stayed regular, if that makes any sense. Finally, I thought the environments could get pretty bland. It feels like Monolith was trying to go for some kind of seamless adventure, much in the same vein as the Half-Life franchise, but some of these places aren't nearly as interesting after being in them for a while. All in all, despite its flaws, I enjoyed F.E.A.R overall, and would absolutely recommend it. Its horror aesthetics, great gunplay, and wonderful technology all make for a memorable experience. So I'd give F.E.A.R a final score of 6 out of 10. You know, Halloween is right around the corner. F.E.A.R may just be the game you're looking for to get you in the mood for the holiday. I say go for it. You can't go wrong. That concludes my review for F.E.A.R. If you like my reviews, you can like, comment, or subscribe. I also have social media links down in the description below, as well as a link to my online portfolio, where you can see video game design works that I've done. And with that out of the way, please make sure to have a great day.